Have you ever been scrolling online, maybe, late at night, and then bam, your eyes just lock onto it? That absolutely amazing deal on something you've really wanted, maybe like a fancy espresso machine or those headphones everyone's talking about, all at a price that seems, well, honestly, unbelievably low. Maybe it's on a site you've never heard of, something like Pifthyaz.shop, and that little voice pipes up, hang on. It says, it's actually too good to be true.
Ah,
Okay, let's really unpack this today. Because, look, who doesn't love finding a brilliant bargain, right? But at the same time, nobody wants the stress, or even worse, the hit to their wallet, from falling for an online scam. So today, we're doing a deep dive into, well, the sometimes tricky world of online shopping. Our mission here is to give you a really practical, quick checklist, a kind of shortcut, actually to help you spot the difference fast between a legit online store and one that might be less than honest. We want you to feel confident, before you click buy. We've looked at a whole load of online store reviews, and we're using Pifthyaz.shop as a sort of case study to show the kinds of problems that can pop up.
yeah. And what's really interesting, I think, is not just the individual stories, but how often the same red flags show up again and again. Once you know what to look for, it's almost like having night vision goggles for the internet. It really is about empowering you with that critical thinking so you're not just reacting to a shiny price tag, but actually assessing if a site is trustworthy. It's not just about dodging one bad purchase, it's about understanding how these online scams work.
Absolutely. And that's exactly why this is so important. So the first thing that always grabs us, the hook really, is the product listings and those prices. They can be so tempting. Let's imagine you're on a site like our example, Pifthyaz.shop. You see all sorts of stuff, electronics, maybe clothes, all looking like they have these massive discounts. We're talking things that usually cost a lot, suddenly listed for like a tiny fraction of the normal price, and boom, right there. That's often where the first big red flag should start waving frantically in your mind, shouldn't it? Are they really offering a brand new high-end item, say a top-of-the-line drone or a luxury watch, for something crazy like 70 or 80% off? If those prices are just way, way lower than everywhere else reputable, that's not just a caution sign, it's a major alarm bell. It just doesn't make sense for a real business, does it? Not without some very clear reason.
Exactly. And if we think about the bigger picture here, prices that low that are just unsustainable usually mean one of two things, and neither is good for you. First, the products could be fake, counterfeit. You might get something that looks kind of like the real deal, but it's poor quality, maybe even unsafe, and definitely not what you paid for. Or second, and this is often even worse, there might be no product at all. A lot of these sites are just set up to take your money and run. It's a non-delivery scam. Nothing ever shows up. So it really forces you to ask, what's the actual cost of chasing that super deal? It's not just the money, is it? It's the hassle, the time wasted, and maybe even your personal info getting compromised.
Precisely. And then, moving on from the price, let's look closely at the visuals. The product pictures. Are they good quality photos? Do they look professional? Or do they seem a bit dodgy? Maybe they're blurry, or the style is inconsistent, and this is the big one, they look like they've been lifted straight from another website. Sometimes you can even spot the original watermark if you look closely. Our research shows that scam sites, kind of like the Pifthyaz.shop type, often just steal photos from legitimate brands or retailers. It's easy for them, cheap too. It makes the site look full, without needing any actual stock.
Oh, absolutely. Visual verification is so important. If you see images that are clearly copied or just generic stock photos, that's a really strong sign they don't have the actual items, or maybe any items. A real business invests in good photos because they want to show you exactly what you're buying, build trust. So when you see those dodgy images, it suggests a big gap between what they're showing you and reality. It definitely should make you suspicious right away.
Okay, so you've looked at the products, the prices, the pictures, and maybe alarm bells are already ringing. But now let's switch gears. We need to figure out who is actually selling this stuff. So where do you go next? You head straight to the About Us page, or sometimes the lack of one. This section can be honestly a goldmine for checking them out, or for finding more reasons to be worried. A real, legitimate online shop. They should be upfront with clear, verifiable details. A proper registered company name, maybe a registration number, a physical address one you can actually find on a map, and maybe something about how long they've been operating. These aren't just nice to haves. They signal they're a real entity, accountable. If instead that page is super vague, full of just generic waffle or missing key info like you often see with sites like Pifthyaz.shop, that's another big flashing warning sign. It's like a shop with no sign above the door.
Right. This is absolutely fundamental for building trust online. A business that hides who they are or just gives you vague info. That lack of transparency is a huge red flag. It basically suggests they don't want you to be able to find them or hold them accountable if something goes wrong. Think about it. Why would a real business hide its identity? They wouldn't. Their reputation is built on being credible and transparent. If they're dodgy about who they are, what else are they hiding? It just breaks that trust.
And flowing directly from that, let's look at the contact details. Is there a phone number that actually works? And does it connect you to a real person, like customer service, during normal hours? What about an email address? Is it professional, like support@theircompany.com, or is it just a freebie, like Gmail or Yahoo? That's a pretty big difference in how serious they seem. And here's a quick tip. If they do list a physical address, pop it into Google Maps. Does it actually show a shop or an office? Or does it point to, like, a random field, an empty lot, or maybe even just someone's house? That always gives me a bit of a chuckle, and also a shiver.
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it? How little effort some of these temporary operations put into making the details believable once you start digging. A generic email, an address that doesn't check out. It suggests they actively want to be hard to trace. This absence of a clear way to contact them or find them physically, that should definitely make you hesitate. It's a major problem in that sort of unspoken agreement between a buyer and seller. If you can't reliably reach them, how are you going to sort out any issues, like a return, or even just asking a question? It feels like it's designed so you have no way back.
All right, so you've checked the deals, the pictures, the About Us page, the contact info. Now what? Now we need to look beyond the website itself. You absolutely cannot just rely on the reviews you see on their site, can you?
Oh, definitely not.
Those could be totally made up or heavily filtered. The smart move is to cast a wider net. Yeah, I mean, you need to go check independent review sites. Places like Google Reviews, Trustpilot, SiteJabber. See what real customers are saying out there. That's where the unvarnished truth usually lives. And here's a major red flag. You search for the store name, and you find nothing. No reviews at all. Or maybe just one or two vague ones, especially if they claim to sell loads of products at low prices. That silence is deafening. Real businesses, even small ones, get reviews over time. A total lack of feedback is really suspicious. Or, on the flip side, if all the reviews are just too perfect, all 5 stars, super generic, saying things like, great product, with no details, that can also be a sign they're fake.
And connecting that to the bigger picture again, that lack of independent third-party reviews. It means there's no social proof. There's no shared experience you can tap into. Real businesses, especially online, kind of live and die by customer feedback, good and bad. It builds their reputation. So if there's just a void, it suggests either they're brand new, maybe suspiciously new, or they're deliberately trying to avoid any public scrutiny. It basically means that you're thinking of walking into a shop that apparently nobody else has ever been to, which is, a pretty big risk to take.
And one last technical check, something that's pretty easy to do but often gets missed. You can actually check when the website itself was created. Use a domain checker tool online. Just search for ICANN or Who's Lookup. These tools tell you the date, the website address, the domain name was registered. It's simple but can be really revealing about how long they've actually been around.
And this really leads to a critical question, doesn't it? If a site is brand new, maybe just weeks or months old, and it's pushing these incredible discounts on expensive stuff, and it has no real reviews anywhere else, like our Pifthyaz.shop example often shows, well, why on earth should you trust them with your money? A super new site, huge discounts, no track record, vague contact info, that screams risk. It points towards a hit-and-run operation. Pop up, grab cash, disappear. Not a real lasting business. And another thing, which often goes with all this, is how they want you to pay. Be really, really careful if a site only accepts payment methods that are hard to trace. Things like bank transfers, crypto, maybe even gift cards. Reputable stores almost always offer secure credit card payments, usually through well-known systems. That gives you crucial chargeback protection if things go wrong. If they're pushing you towards insecure methods, that should be the final absolute deal breaker.
Definitely. Okay, but what if, even being careful, you do get caught out? It can happen. The key is to act fast. If you paid by credit card, call your bank or credit card company immediately. Dispute the charge. They often have strong fraud protection. Gather all your evidence, emails, screenshots, order confirmations, anything you have. That'll help your case.
Yes, and also report the scam. In the U.S., you can report it to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, that's IC3, or the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC. Reporting helps authorities track these scammers and hopefully stop them from hitting others. Don't feel embarrassed. These people can be very convincing. Really, what you've learned today isn't just about avoiding one dodgy website. It's about developing a sharper eye for all your online activity. It's about being informed, being empowered, and seeing the patterns not just in shopping, but everywhere online.
Right. So just to quickly recap our deep dive checklist for smart online shopping. First, be super skeptical of deals that seem too good to be true. Second, look closely at product images. Are they original and high quality? Third, dig into that About Us page for real business details. Fourth, check if the contact info is legit and actually works. Fifth, always look for independent reviews off-site. And sixth, maybe do a quick check on how old the website domain is. This isn't just about avoiding one specific bad apple like Pifthyaz.shop. It's about giving you the tools to navigate the whole online marketplace more safely.
Exactly. Knowledge is only powerful when you actually understand it and use it. What you've picked up today isn't just a list of rules, it's more like a new way of looking at things online. A framework for critical thinking. It helps you cut through the noise, spot those subtle signs of deception, and protect yourself in what's, let's face it, an increasingly complex digital world. It's about being proactive, not just reactive.
Absolutely. So here's a final thought to leave you with. The next time you see one of those almost unbelievable deals, or you stumble onto any new website or online service, think about what other areas of your digital life might benefit from that same kind of careful, deep dive look. Where else might you just be taking things at face value without really checking? Something to mull over, perhaps, to help empower your entire online experience.